Get out your phones and have your managers at the ready because there is a new Karen in town.
No! God, please, no!
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a new type of Karen that I have been seeing way too much of lately. I like to think of this woman as Karen's little sister, who we'll call Kim. Whereas Karen is a little more spicy, I would say Kim is a bit more salty. Of course, she hides that salt underneath a sugary sweet exterior. And to be clear, when I say Karens are spicy, I mean that they're abrasive, because we all know that most Karens have the flavor profile of month-old mayonnaise. And as you know, these mayonnaise flavored and often mayonnaise complected ladies love to run amok in public. Like, I don't know, in a Walgreens.
Unbelievable.
Let's go.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, I'll get a good attorney.
God bless you.
Yep. God bless me. God, because I'm a Christian.
Christians don't talk like you.
As we see in this clip, Karens often claim to be Christian, which I think is kind of interesting because this woman was arrested after a dispute she had with another Walgreens customer in which she anointed him in her holiest of waters. And by that I mean she spat on him. But enough about Karens, because we're here to talk about Kims, where Karens like to be loud and really make themselves known. Kims are a little bit more subtle. Now, a Kim is not going to just go up to somebody who's wronged them and let them know they're upset. No, Kims are much nicer. They're going to set up their camera, shed a few tears, share their little sob story, and let you be the judge. But as much as people on the internet love to pick a side in a brawl, they also love to do a deep dive. And often it doesn't take much to realize, oh, it was Kimmy all along. And to start us off, I'm bringing you a big old Kim on her big day. This Kim posted a now very viral video of her washing off the makeup she had done professionally pretty much before she's going down the aisle. And that would be a nightmare for any bride. You know, something we should all have so much sympathy for. Well, when you watch this video, you may see some cracks starting to show. And I'm not talking about in her foundation. I'm talking about in her story.
Washing off my bridal makeup. Am I doing it?
I feel like you're about to vomit.
Can I do it now? Oh my gosh, what did I do?
It'll be perfect. It always is perfect when you do it. You always look so pretty.
Thank you. Okay, it's shaking. It's okay. I think it's just like anxiety. I thought she's gonna want to do like touch-ups on me like right before.
Can we ask her still? Is that rude? Like, you're never gonna see her.
I don't want to see her. I feel bad, but I don't like it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Like, look better even without the makeup at all.
Right? I'm like, I already feel like way more like myself.
Like, I'm watching her paint your lips and I was like, oh, that is pink.
I was trying so hard to like it. She also like didn't blend in my neck at all. Like,
No, she didn't.
There's no makeup on my neck. I'd rather walk down the aisle like this.
A mask. Pictures. If you're like cakey or something.
Oh, I can't wait to make a TikTok about this.
Flashback Mary. I was like,
Now, to start off my reaction to this video, I want to play one of my favorite games when dissecting viral online videos, which is to ask, where's the camera? Where the camera is located and how it's being handled tells you a whole lot about the video that you're watching. For example, if you're watching a video where something crazy happens that was completely unpredictable and nobody knew it was gonna happen, and yet the camera's set up and it's not shaky and everything's perfectly framed, and damn, it seems like it might have even been lit. I meant lit professionally, not lit like cool.
Stop it. Get some help.
Then you may be watching a staged video. Which brings me to my question of this video. So Bride Kim has just realized she needs to wash off her makeup. She hates it that much and she needs to start from scratch right before her wedding is starting, which would be a very upsetting and chaotic moment. And yet she had the time to go get her phone, prop up her phone, hit record, then enter frame to wash her face.
wait a minute.
If my makeup was so horrible I had to wash it off, I don't know that my first thought would be, ooh, let's make sure I prop this camera up right. And the fact that she literally looks into the camera when she's like, my anxiety, I'm so anxious. Even when she picks up the camera and moves it with her and like is talking into camera, like, girl, Kim. And perhaps the most damning of evidence in that video is when she literally goes, I can't wait to make a TikTok about this. Girl, you're getting married today and you're freaking out about your makeup. Why are we thinking about TikTok right now? And people really were confused by her reaction and the way that she was handling it. But I would say no one was more confused than her makeup artist, who was sent said viral video and came out with a response. Let's watch.
Hi there. So 21 million of you have seen that viral video of the bride washing off her makeup 20 minutes before her first look on her wedding day. Well, it's me. I'm that makeup artist. I honestly was shocked to see this. There were no indicators that she was unhappy, honestly. I've been doing this over 20 years, and I've learned to communicate very well with my brides, and I've also learned to read body language. I was looking back at my messages with this bride just to see like what our interaction was like. She did have a preview with me, and she was happy. There were a few things she wanted to change. Her eyeshadow color she wanted to change. She wanted to add a little more bronzer. She did mention in her message that she loved her lip and cheek color. So I kept that the same. On the wedding day, I made the changes that she asked for, and it seemed to me that she was happy. She gave me the biggest smile I've ever seen of a bride. And yeah, I had no idea. Also, her wedding was in August, so I mean, it's been several months now. I had no idea she was unhappy.
Okay, so the makeup was so bad that you had to wash it off and start from scratch, but not bad enough to tell your makeup artist. The woman who could have fixed it or adjusted it, the woman you'd had multiple consultations with. Instead of telling her you weren't happy, you just smiled and told her it was great. And interestingly enough, this makeup artist actually talks about later in the video the fact that this bride being the one that did this to her hurt her especially because this bride was so nice and kind to her and that they were both Jesus lovers. That's her phrasing. And I don't want to get out of my zone here, but I really do feel like this behavior would not be Jesus approved. I fear you may not be worried about God and much more concerned about that FYP. But it's not just bride Kims that use this tactic. It's time we talked about crafty Kim. Now again, I know Kims are not the worst people in the world. This woman in particular, not the worst human being. But as this woman had this incident in a Joann's fabric store, I would like us to use her behaviors and her explanations for why she did what she did as like a sewing pattern so we can understand how Kims are constructed and what they're made of. Okay?
Okay, I need to know what you would do in this situation, and I'm going to give you like a shortened version of it. So I was at the store with all 4 boys, 6, 3, 10-month twins, and my 3-year-old was really hungry. He asked for one of these, and he was like, this would make me feel better. It would make me not hungry. And obviously this is not going to fill him up, but he was being really patient and really sweet. So I was like, sure, we'll go ahead and buy it. So we go up, we finally pay for it. And as he's trying to open it, he overcorrected and yanked this off, and about 75% of the M&Ms go flying all over the floor. And instantly I'm mortified, I'm so sorry, there's a mess everywhere. And then I look over and he's sobbing because he's embarrassed, and he's probably thinking oh no, this is all I have left now, that's sad. And so I'm like, it's okay, it was an accident. And the lady at the cash register disappears, and I'm like, oh, moment of truth. Is she going to get another one? Is that weird to assume because we spilled most of it? Or is she getting something to clean it up? I don't know. And so she comes back with a broom, and I was like, oh, so she's just here to clean it up. Okay. But he spilled most of them, and he's really sad about it. So I feel like as a good mom, I want to get him more because it was an accident. And so then I asked the lady, I was like, hey, if I pay for another one now, because I'd already checked out, if I pay for it, can I just go grab it? Because the line's really long and I don't want to have to wait in line again. And she's like, oh yeah, of course. And so she goes ahead and types it in. I was like, okay, $4, just go ahead and put your card in. And obviously I offered to pay for it, so I was going to do it, and I did. But at the same time, if it was me, I feel like I would be like, no, you didn't even get to enjoy it. It's fine. It was an accident. I don't know. I kind of expected it for free.
Right off the bat, we have the classic Kim setup for one of these videos, which is this thing happened to me and gosh, it feels kind of wrong. I feel like they might be bad, but I don't know. I want your opinion. You tell me that they're in the wrong so that I can feel justified about the ways that I'm feeling.
But I don't want to come off like a mooch because it's not like I don't know. What would you assume? What would you do? If you were at a restaurant and you like dropped your food, or if you like spilled your drink, they would just replace it. They wouldn't expect you to eat it off the floor or to not have anything. But like at this store, since I purchased it, is it like my problem now? Like, oh, he dropped it. That's unfortunate.
Here we have another classic Kimmy staple, which is the false equivalency. So she's saying, well, if he spilled his food, they would just make another one. Well, when we look at restaurants, they buy supplies, right? They've got their butter, their noodles, their veggies. They buy that and then they make dishes off of that. Those aren't like specific line items that have to be accounted for, right? So they can sometimes make you a new one versus your little M&M candy cane, which is an item that has to be accounted for, right? Those two are not the same thing. And to say that they are is a little deceptive, a little disingenuous, and you'll see them use false equivalencies a lot when they're trying to explain why they did what they did, why they shouldn't be the bad guy, and often when you kind of dig deep into that comparison, you'll see they are not at all the same. Okay, when she says, is that my problem? Yes, it is your problem. It 100% is that your kid opened the thing while you were still in the store and spilled it everywhere. That is your problem. The store can then do things to assist you. And she did. She swept it up for you. She assured you it was okay. She also then let you skip that line, right? So that you didn't have to wait again. She just let you pay for it and go get it, which is actually very kind of her. To me, that seems like good customer service. And I think it's important to point out that this little crafty Kim said, I will pay for it, before the cashier even could offer up a free item. Not that she would have, but she didn't even have the space to. I just don't know what she was expecting. Did you think the cashier would be like, no, ma'am, put your card away by my honor as a Joann's cashier. I can't let you do this. My employer be damned. Let them videotape me saying no, put your money away. Let me be repercussed, or perhaps I'll pay for it out of my own pocket. I will give you 25% of this hour's wages. 1/4 of my hard work I shall give to you, so your little boy can have all the M&Ms that can fit in a tiny plastic candy cane, because that's who I am as a cashier. What? No, never. That would never happen. I don't know what entitled fantasy land this woman was living in, but if you said you would pay for it, then you're gonna pay for it. Being mad at the cashier for letting you do the thing that you said you were going to do is insane. And I probably wouldn't have even mentioned this Kim in particular, except when she posted this video and specifically asked for feedback, guess what? She didn't like the feedback she received. So she came back with the second video, and that sugary sweet exterior that we saw in the first one kind of was shed a little bit, and we got a lot more of that salt in the second video. And now we're gonna break down what happens when a Kim gets called out.
I don't even know where to start. Well, first off, if you don't know who I am the girl who posted the candy cane video where my son spilled his M&Ms. Yeah, the internet didn't like my thoughts about that. And before I answer some of the questions that I got a lot of, I want to say TikTok has banned well over 700 comments for bullying. Some of the comments that I got the most of. First one, why didn't I clean it up? Let me just paint this picture for you. We are at Joann's. It is a very narrow cash register area. There is a long line of people. I am pushing a double stroller. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 6-year-old. They're standing where they should be. I have 3 bags that I'm having to hold while I'm holding a baby and supposed to be pushing a stroller, and my kid's crying. There was no way that I was able to do it. And in that moment, yeah, she cleaned it up for me. And she said, oh, it's okay, you're good to go. It's not a crime to accept that help. I said, thank you. I apologize profusely for the mess.
Okay, we gotta pause it right here. Sorry. This is the classic Kimmy sidestep. Sidestepping accountability and reframing or shifting what the issue is. So here, she's making it seem like the issue was that she got help. That the internet is upset that the cashier helped her. She was like, it's not a crime to accept help. No, you're right. It's not a crime to accept help. But when you receive said help, it is kind of shitty to go on the internet and bash the person that helped you. Just trying to help. Just my thoughts. Let's keep going.
The cashier is not able to just give me a free one. Why would I want her to get fired? And why would I expect her to pay for it for me? I never expected her to pay for it. Ever. Never said that. And no, I don't want her to get fired over a $4 piece of candy. I don't work in retail, never have, and I don't know the rules. But I do know that I've been in stores before where things have dropped. I've seen other people break things. I have had experience in this area, and never, ever, ever have I seen somebody not replace it. I had a situation once at Disney. I dropped a lollipop. And what happened? They saw me and they were like, oh, of course. Yes, and I know in the comments you're going to be like, well, it was Disney. They have to do that. And they don't have to do that.
Kim, I have tried to be nice to you this whole video. You're going to compare Joann's fabric store to Disneyland? To Disneyland. And Kim, you're saying I don't have experience. We know, honey. We know. Here's the rub with that. You are the one who came on the internet to critique the service you got, how you would have done it with the zero experience you have. You kind of came in with the entitlement there. You kind of came in with the attitude of, I know how this should go, and this is not how this should go. And now you want to say, well, I don't know how this should go. Why are you blaming me? You can't have your cake and eat it too. Or I guess in this case, you can't spill hundreds of M&Ms and then get them for free.
I should not have said I expected, but I didn't expect. I was hopeful. And when it didn't happen, guess what? I didn't say anything. I didn't ask. I wasn't rude. I said, is there any way I can pay for another one so that I can get it? Clearly feeling out the vibe of, okay, we're not going to get it for free, but that's okay. It was my fault. It was my kid's fault. That's it. I paid for it. I said thank you. I apologized again. We were out of there.
And here's the crux of the Kimmy argument, okay? Here it is. It's the idea that I wasn't rude to her. I was kind to her. I was nice to her in person. So don't say I'm rude. Right. In person, you were nice to her, but then you bashed her on the internet. That's not being nice. Let me explain. Say two people get into a fight. Instead of handling that conflict, which probably you didn't want to deal with the conflict, you didn't want to deal with the uncomfortable feelings of calling her out and being a Karen, right? You didn't want to be a Karen, but you still felt the entitlement. So instead of the two of you sorting that out, you left, everything's fine, and tried to bring in a ton of your friends and people on the internet to then go against this person to prove you were right, instead of just handling it interpersonally. And this is where the Kim and the Karen are similar. The Karen and the Kim have the same feelings during the conflict. The Karen handles it aggressively while it's happening. The Kim has the same problems, same resentments, and then she leaves, and that festers, and that gets worse, and then she brings the internet onto it. Like, I don't know, saving the candy cane so everyone can see the exact level of the M&Ms. No, honey, you can't eat these M&Ms. Mommy needs to make a video about how bad the service was at Joann's.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let's finish this video for the love of God.
I'm entitled. No, I am not entitled. The comparison that comes to mind is, you know how like women do this thing sometimes with men where like they hope that something specific is going to happen, like, oh, maybe he'll surprise me on a date and maybe he'll do this and that. but then it doesn't happen. It's like one of those situations you're hopeful, but you don't have like these set expectations. It's just like, oh, that would be really nice if this happened. And I just know that if I was in the position where I was able to do that, I would. So I was hoping that the same would be returned. But obviously, I get it in the comments. She's not a manager. She can't do it. It's not a mom and pop place. You can say that while being nice. Like, I wasn't going to explain myself because I feel like I should have just like, been done with this. But it kind of hurt. Like, if you know who I am and you know my heart, I am a very kind person, and I am constantly worried about how other people feel, how I make other people feel. You might not have gotten that from that 2-minute video, and I'm so sorry about that. Let's all relax and not say hurtful things on the internet, because I am a good mom. I am a nice person. Cashier lady said that she would take care of the mess. I apologized profusely. We're moving on. We accepted the help and we moved on. Okay? Please be nice.
Okay. Anybody else feel like they're in the principal's office? There's so much to unpack here. First off, comparing your relationship with a Joann's cashier to an intimate romantic relationship is weird. It's weird. Those two are not the same. Not the same expectations, not the same commitments. No, just a cashier trying to literally get through her f***ing day. Get through the shift is not the same as your boyfriend who just doesn't give you the gifts you were hoping for. I cannot. And then we hit the Kimmy wall, okay? This is the strongest argument that they have and that they bring up. I'm a nice person. I am so nice. I am a good mother. I care so much about other people's feelings. Are the people whose feelings you care about in the room with us? Because they definitely weren't in that Joann's. It wasn't the cashier, that's for sure. Maybe your own kids. And it's very interesting that she talks about how nice she is and how kind she is, rather than actually taking accountability and making kinder choices, making nicer choices, evaluating what she did so that she can be a more kind person in the future. That, to me, is what a kind person does. And especially when you want to paint yourself as someone who just let it go and didn't get upset, and yet you made a whole video, and then you made a second video when people called you out. That's not letting it go. That's not moving on. That is being pretty invested in people understanding your way is the right way, and you are nice, and they are not being nice. It's very much about you and your perspective rather than everybody else. And other people, when they come to you and say, I don't see what you did as nice or kind, it's important to evaluate that. We all get lost in our own perspectives. We all do things, maybe with good intention, that go bad. And we have to reflect on that and change. It's not enough to say, I'm nice, I'm kind. You have to evaluate your impact on the world and adjust. That's what makes you kind. That's what makes you nice. And despite her hating this word, if you ask for feedback, you are not entitled to a nice response when you are asking for people to tell you how they feel about something you've done. That's entitlement in itself. To think you can control the way the internet is responding to you asking for feedback. Especially when the video ends with you telling us, the internet at large, we have to be nice. Be nice. Be nice. You need to be nice. We can do this while being nice. You be nice. You be nice. At the end of the day, it comes to this, as I said before, you really have two choices. You can be honest about your expectation, or you can not have an expectation and then not be upset when it doesn't get fulfilled. But don't pretend to be nice and open because you want to be perceived as kind, and then be resentful when you don't get what you want, which you did not clearly state. That's not nice, that's not kind, that's deceptive, and it's entitled. And while it may not make you a full-on Karen, that definitely gets you classified as a Kimmy. Okay, friends, that's all I have for today. I know that was a long rant, but I really have been seeing a lot of Kims on my social media. So I just wanted to point out these manipulative behaviors, and hopefully it will help you spot a Kim next time so you don't fall for their little sad stories. Other than that, friends, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, give it a like. Please hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from me, and I will see you next time. Bye!